With digital money, I mean, here's what we're thinking. They would be able, the government, to have a record of every digital transaction that you do, every item or service that you purchase, the date and time and location of that purchase, which gives them a record of your activities. If that's not an invasion of privacy, I don't know what is.
This is The Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Dino. Welcome to The Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group. His peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, welcome. You always give us some great insights. Our topic today is one that we have alluded to a little bit along the way, but we're going to investigate in depth today, and that is the danger of digital dollars. As I said, we've touched on this topic a number of times in the past, never in any great detail. Today, we're going to devote more time to the issue of digital dollars and financial privacy. But first, let's take a panoramic view of the world around us. We have a war in Europe that threatens to escalate dangerously. We have the economy here in America being propped up by an artificial money-printing house of cards. We have commercial real estate, once considered a can't-miss investment, reeling from unprecedented vacant office space. We have inflation that is at its highest since the disastrous Jimmy Carter years. We have continuing supply chain problems, and the subject that nobody seems to want to talk about, China, is making more and more of the world's goods, leaving manufacturing in America in its dust. Ken, are we living in unsettled times? I mean, have I painted a bleak enough picture of the causes of financial dangers on the horizon?
Well, I think you've painted a realistic picture, Dave. I don't think there's anything on that list there that isn't just, true and fact. I mean, not to mention that the whole world is drowning in debt. So, it's a bad situation financially, politically, socially. I would say that you stated some very relevant things that will affect our money. And don't forget, we're talking about how could we protect our money, what's wealth preservation through gold and silver. How do these different aspects of the economy that's going on, Dave, how will that affect our buying power? So, we have to remember that as well.
Ken, that leads me to my first question. The term digital dollars or digital currency, what exactly does that mean?
Well, let's try to keep it simple. Central bank digital currency or central bank digital dollars. It's money on a blockchain, Dave, and it's basically controlled by the Fed. Much different than, today where, you have a cash in the society where you could make deposits and withdrawals, and there is a little bit of financial privacy left. So this would kind of be much different and much more digital.
Why do you think this is a threat to both financial privacy and even financial security?
Well, that's just basically what it is, Dave, in its essence. It's the elimination of our financial privacy and any financial freedoms, like I said, whatever little we have left. It's ultimate control through monetary transactions. Literally our debit cards could be shut down at any time. They wanted to monitor the government $600 transactions in and out recently in a bill. So obviously there's definitely plans of that sort of banking system controlled by the Fed. So is it a threat to our financial privacy and financial security? Absolutely, in the ultimate way.
A reminder here, you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and our topic today is the danger of digital dollars. Ken, we've talked about the problem at the beginning of the program here. Let's get right to the solution. Can precious metals like gold provide financial privacy?
Well, they definitely provide a layer of financial privacy, Dave, because you can take some money out of the banking system, you can take some assets out of the markets, you can move it sideways into physical gold and silver that you could hold on to, keep safe privately in your possession, in your control. It's not subject to a third party. It can't be hacked. It
Hmm.
won't be affected by a electronic pulse. So as long as you can keep that kind of thinking of diversification, yes, gold, physical gold, not paper gold, not stock gold, not mutual fund gold, none of that stuff. Physical gold bars and coins, physical silver will definitely provide financial privacy.
A person just casually tuning in today's program and hearing your concern about digital currency, they might think that they've stumbled across a couple of conspiracy nuts. But what you're talking about is as real as what you've already alluded to briefly, and that is the legislative bills being introduced in Congress, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, it's happening. I mean, we're not conspiracy nuts. We're just stating the facts. I mean, Senate Bill 3571 was introduced March 23rd in 2020. This talks about digital dollars and digital wallets with the Federal Reserve Bank. HR 4741 was introduced on July 28th, 2021, before the 117th Congress. This also, Dave, defines the digital dollar. So digital dollars are being discussed behind the scenes. Money is changing very dramatically. No one knows really what money's going to look like 5 or 10 years from now, but it definitely looks like they're going to push for a Fed-controlled banking system. This is being discussed by the powers that be, a one world monetary system, a one world government, and at the control of that, and at the center, we have a controlled banking system surrounded by and based on digital money. We should have some financial privacy and some financial freedoms. That's just our basic rights. And I don't think that anyone should have ultimate control over our money. So I would say that gold and silver is a way to take that last little bit of control of a portion of your assets, Dave. The last little bit of control for your financial freedom. I would say I do not think that our benefits as American citizens is being thought about, especially when it comes to the monetary system and where the monetary system is going.
I hear that you believe that owning precious metals such as gold, silver, or platinum, it provides both privacy and wealth stability.
Yeah, well, it always has, Dave. Gold has been money for 3,000 years, and silver's been a big part of the monetary system, going back all the way to the Roman Empire. So, yes, but society has made paper money. The majority of assets today are wrapped up in mutual funds, CDs, money markets, stocks, and that sort of thing. Paper markets, bonds, of course. There's just a huge $1 trillion of bonds out there. So the advisors and the bankers have done a tremendous job just getting people invested, and companies like BlackRock and Vanguard and Fidelity have hundreds of trillions of dollars and tens of trillions of dollars, and how many billions and billions and billions of dollars wrapped up in the financial system. And they've done a tremendous job keeping people invested. But when we talk about privacy and when we talk about financial stability and financial freedoms, especially when things are so risky and so volatile and so leveraged, we've talked about this so many times, wouldn't it make sense to diversify and to take some of that risk off the table and to get some of your funds out of this digital world and out of this digital dollar society? In my opinion, Dave, that's true wealth preservation, and in my opinion, extremely, extremely important in this day and age.
A reminder here that you are listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. Today our topic is the danger of digital dollars, and I've got more questions coming, but first, in a few moments, we're going to take a look at a specific gold product that you can add to secure your wealth, and that's coming up right after this.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka here. Part of the so-called Great Reset from the multinational elite is to enact a digital wallet currency. Think of the implications. Time to create your own gold standard with a call to the dealer I do business with, veteran-owned Midas Gold Group, the America-first precious metals experts who can help you with IRAs and more. Get your portfolio reset with gold and silver. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is the danger of digital dollars. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, you can actually come and visit our local office to meet with us in person, and we would love that. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. That's MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Midas, of course, is spelled M-I-D-A-S. Ken, now we turn to one of my favorite portions of our time together each week as we look at a specific gold product. And today, in light of our topic, digital currency, I'd like to talk about a gold product I don't believe we have talked about before. It is the gold British sovereign. Can you give us a quick summary of this very impressive gold coin?
Yeah, it's kind of a neat little coin, Dave. In a nutshell, the gold British sovereign is a smaller coin than some of the other ones that we typically talk about because it's about a quarter of an ounce of gold. It actually contains 0.2354 ounces of gold.
Mm-hmm.
So just the size alone makes it very different from many of the other gold coins that you and I have talked about over the last few months. It has a global history, Dave, dating back to 1817, and it's now restruck by the British Royal Mint. It's very unique. It's small, but we do see a lot of clients that have interest in it. I would recommend people to be open to different types of gold products and different types of precious metal products so that you can be diversified within your precious metals, not only diversified within your gold products, but across the board. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little different than the traditional 1 ounce gold coins, but it is very popular. It's very liquid. And in my opinion, it's a pretty good value here in this market as the price of the gold British sovereign, retail price is very reasonable.
You alluded a moment ago to the fact that this dates back to the early 1800s. It's got a very colorful history, doesn't it?
Yeah, Dave, it has a long and winding history. The gold British sovereign has truly been through it all, but over the years, this coin's staying power has proved undeniable. Its collectability has never been higher. There is a bit of a history here, as you said, Dave. It was first struck in 1817. So the coins today are restrikes. The name derives from the original English gold sovereign, which was last struck over 400 years ago, believe it or not. And the new sovereign was minted as part of the Great Recoinage Act of 1816. So by 1887, Dave, all the gold British sovereigns featured the St. George design on the reverse side. It ceased being made when the First World War began. This is something that many people don't understand or are aware of, but the coin disappeared from circulation and it was replaced by paper currency. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Where the gold disappeared and the government wanted to replace it by paper currency. And the coin did not return until demand for the coin rose again up in the 1950s. Remember here in the United States, Dave, the 1933, the government asked everyone to turn in their gold. They wanted to make the ownership of gold illegal, threatening jail time or fines. And then gold bullion coins didn't start appearing again until the early 80s. So, once again, central banking dominated societies have been doing this plan and been at this for a long time. So starting back in 1979, let's get back to the sovereign just briefly.
Mm-hmm.
It was issued in proof condition. There's been 5 designs of the Queen, Dave, on the sovereign, the most notable one being drafted in 1998 and used until 2015. A new portrait of the Queen became standard in 2015.
So few coins come with so much history attached, whether for the numismatic enthusiast, the gold bullion investor, or even student of history. I mean, this is a great coin for any collection, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and some clients are into that sort of thing. Others aren't. So how do we know? Well, that requires a conversation, and it requires the first step or multiple steps to want to buy gold for the first time, or own gold, or add gold to our already nice hoard. So everyone's a little different. No, not every collector that comes to Midas Gold Group, or not every investor wants to be a little bit of a collector or a collector at all. So, it's all about getting foundational gold products that will provide wealth preservation so that our clients could sidestep the upcoming financial crisis. And is the digital dollar a part of this upcoming financial crisis? Absolutely. So what could we do to protect ourselves from that? We can consider gold and silver products, one of them being the gold British sovereign. Whether or not everyone wants to be a little bit of a collector or have a collectible type coin, that's not the point. The point is that there are many to choose from that will give clients and give our investors the benefits of gold, the benefits of a tangible asset, Dave, as wealth preservation, just as the gold British sovereign and many other gold coins do.
You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is the danger of digital currency, and I've got more questions about that coming up right after this.
Sebastian Gorka here. The Biden-Harris administration is governing through an unprecedented number of executive orders. We have a good idea of what their agenda means for the country and for your finances. More debt, more regulations, slower growth, and higher taxes. There's even talk of a digital wallet currency and a so-called Great Reset. With massive new spending programs, the Fed is printing money even faster than before. This will likely cause the dollar to fall and gold prices to rise. That's why it's never been more important to own physical gold and silver, and the dealer I trust to do business with is veteran-owned Midas Gold Group. The experts at Midas Gold can even help you convert a portion of your IRA into physical gold and silver to stabilize your portfolio against the coming storm. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is the danger of digital dollars. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit our local office and meet with us in person. For the address and the directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Call us. Let's talk. Now, let's get back to our topic of the danger of digital currency. Ken, I read a paper that you recently wrote on our topic today, and you cited several examples of bills being proposed for the creation of digital currency, and I've got to admit that the legal language of the bills was almost impossible to understand, almost as if it were intended. So, for my sake, could you kind of dumb it down for me and tell me what these various bills are trying to create?
Well, first of all, Dave, you're not a dummy. Your reaction, though, is very similar to anyone reading the text of the bills being proposed, including myself. That kind of just goes back to what you and I were talking about before. Money's supposed to be straightforward. You shouldn't have to be a lawyer to understand, how money works. Or, when I think about a digital dollar, I just get confused, and I got to believe that a bunch of people out there are just as confused, and confusion doesn't mean to our benefit. It's not going to benefit the citizens of the United States of America if they're confused. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I can tell you. The Federal Reserve System would be authorized to issue digital versions of the Federal Reserve note. If everybody looks on their dollar bill right now, it doesn't say money, it says Federal Reserve note. Those are the dollars that everyone has in their wallet. They would use distributed ledger technology for the creation, distribution, and recoordination of all transactions involving digital Federal Reserve notes. Okay, well, did you understand any of that, Dave? Okay, so, I mean, this is not what money's supposed to be all about. You know, you used to be able to bring your paper money to the bank and they'd give you some gold, and nice and straightforward, nice and easy. Felt strong. But with digital money, I mean, here's what we're thinking. They would be able, the government, to have a record of every digital transaction that you do.
Wow.
Every item or service, Dave, that you purchase,
Wow.
the date and time and location of that purchase, which gives them a record of your activities. You know, if that's not an invasion of privacy, I don't know what is. That gives government, Dave, total monetary control in every way in our society. And that's not what this country, that's not what we fought for. It's not what our money should be all about, but that's exactly where digital dollars, and that's exactly where our financial system is headed. So wouldn't it make some sense to do something about it while you still can?
You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is the danger of digital currency. So, Ken, what advantage, if any, would having gold in our possession be?
Well, like we talked about before, it gives you an opportunity to take some money out of the banking system, and that's important. You know, you should have diversification. You're allowed to own gold privately. I mean, perfectly legal. It's your business and your business alone. The government does not have a record of how much gold or silver or platinum you own. It is owned in privacy, Dave. Now, that's not to say that owning gold should be a means of doing anything illegal, but rather owning gold allows you to protect your wealth without prying digital eyes of everybody else, the Federal Reserve Bank and authorities watching your every move. You know, and contrary to some growing beliefs, your private wealth, Dave, is nobody else's business, period. So, you know, my long-winded answer, and in a financial system that is headed towards a digital currency system, and it's that simple, Dave. Privacy and financial freedom is important.
I hope that people, as they hear us, do not just dismiss what we're talking about as, you know, just, oh, those guys are just kind of, you know, being hyperbolic about this. They're just inflating this. No, we actually are seeing bills in our government, in our Congress. We are now seeing bills being put forward that have never been put forward before that do advocate for moving our financial system to being completely digital, literally taking the dollar bills and the coins out of our pockets. So I hope that people will understand that this is indeed a very real issue and a very real threat to their financial privacy and their financial stability. And that is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. A reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call the Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD, by the numbers 855-322-4653. The website is MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group, and I love reminding our listeners of this, the Midas Gold Group is very proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have so bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. Ken, Thank you so much for being with us again today.
Yeah, nice talking to you as always, Dave.
I'm Dave Dino. Come and join us again next week at the same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.